Universal basic income isn't a new term. It's actually hundreds of years old. We didn't make it up. We just use it because it's become a more popular term in the past 100 years, since voices like Milton Friedman and Martin Luther King advocated for what they will call a guaranteed wage. It transitioned a bit over in the universal basic income. But the 21st century, the modern version of a universal basic income is quite different from what they were advocating for. This is not welfare. It's also not a tax. The most modern version of a universal basic income is what we would call a dividend. I and my team, we like to call it a data dividend. And the reason we like the idea of a data dividend is because in the modern world, we've seen corporations over the past 50 years become really efficient supply chains. We are 200 times as productive over the course of the past 50 years than we were in the previous 50 years. The biggest problem of our time is that wages haven't increased at all while we've become a more productive society. And so I think it is time for a real paradigm shift in how we pay people for their input to society, or rather their input to productivity. That said, one should beg the question, what is productivity? I think it is unanimous that all economists would say that productivity is just simply a measure of inputs. The good thing about that is the most micro input that we have to productivity are people's personal data. People's personal data is the most seminal contribution that they have for economic demand. And so every company is trying to supply demand that stems from individuals' input. And we've seen our economy become much more productive over the course of the past 50 years because these supply chains are spending their time only answering to the demand that they know they need to supply. Whereas in the previous 50 years or the previous 500 years, we'd make all sorts of products and services that were arguably unnecessary. I think it's a good thing. It's a moral thing. Today, because of people's personal data, we see women in a way that we never have. We see black and brown people in ways that we never have. We see queer people in ways that we never have. We see people with certain abilities or lack thereof in ways that we never have.